Hey, beautiful mama. Welcome to the Radiant Mom Rising podcast, where we believe you were never meant to just survive. You were born to shine. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, life coach, mom of three, and your biggest cheerleader in creating a life and business you love. Each week, we dive into real conversations about mindset, motherhood, healing, and purpose, helping you break free from overwhelm, rediscover your worth, and rise into the confident, radiant woman you were meant to be. Because when moms rise, the world rises with us. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's get ready to rise together.
Welcome back. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great who's listening in today. I'm so excited. I'm here with Miss Sabrina. Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us today. How's everything going for you?
It is going very well here on the East Coast in Connecticut. So it's a beautiful day. So I'm
Oh,
loving it.
yes, I know it's like going to get like 88 degrees over here in Morganton. So for me, I'm excited. I love the warm weather. I'm so ready. I'm so over the cold. So,
Absolutely. Well, it snowed all winter here. So we're looking
oh.
forward to some 80s this week, too. So here for it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let's get started. If you will, introduce yourself to the
Sure.
audience and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So, my name is Sabrina Sales-Bachelor. I actually just got married in this past September. So, that's a pretty cute story. We were actually best friends growing up, and I refused to date him when we were kids, and and he tried. He tried, but we kind of separated, kind of went our separate ways after I went off to college, and then. I don't even know how it happened. We reconnected like 20 years later. And I was like, and the next thing I knew, the rest was history. And we got married this past September after like 4 years, well, 3 years probably. So, and then I have a daughter who is 19 and she is a sophomore at Montserrat College of Art up in Beverly, Massachusetts. Very proud of her. She's media and film production and photography. So, we're wrapping that up. Time flies. My full-time job, I work in insurance as an executive underwriter. However, my passion is with my small business, and that is sassy and inspirational. And it is a gift basket business, but I love it because everything is custom. And although, like, for example, our golf, which is our number one golf gift basket, but I try to tailor it to all my customers, whether it's the color or a theme. And I do that with all of my gift baskets because I feel like you can get any gift off of any retail store, but where is kind of that personalization?
Yeah.
Because I want someone to open it up and go, wow, take a minute and really enjoy it. And then also, we introduced our inspirational snail mail most recently. So we're on month number 3. And this is something, it's a lot of work that goes into it. However, it was really created for women. You know, we do everything for everyone else and we never take a minute for ourselves, and I'm guilty of that as well. Self-care is not always in our forefront. So
Yeah.
I wanted to do something where women could receive a newsletter and like a note that is signed by me, and just each month there's a theme, and it really just speaks to self-care each month, and it comes in the regular mail, which a lot of us don't get anymore outside of junk mail
Yeah.
or bills for that matter. And I kept the pricing reasonably low. It's $10 for the regular envelope, and then there's the premiere, where you get a little bit more extra stuff, more stickers or more things on theme with the month. And so far we are up to 25 subscribers, which I'm so excited about. Yeah, and the feedback I've been getting from women, they absolutely love it. And I'm always about women empowerment, and to get the feedback has been just amazing. And so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Girl, you go, girl. I love it since I've met you. I've loved your energy. I loved everything about you. Your vision is so beautiful, and I've been so excited to like be connected with you. I love the snail mail. That's been amazing to see. And I appreciate your gifting of it because it has been amazing. It is very inspirational. If you haven't checked that out by the end of this episode, I'm going to make sure to put a link in there for you to check out the Selma because she's so right. As women, we do not, especially as moms, I feel like we always put ourselves on the back burner. And it's like, to have something come in the mail outside of bills or,
Yes.
or a bunch of credit card offers and blah 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 spam stuff, it's so, and you do it so beautifully. I love your packaging even. Like I'm like, oh, everything is so gorgeous and just, and I even like your stickers. Like I have signs in front of my desk like that are affirmations. I added your stickers around to even embrace even further more. Like you're even like, I mean, just I love it, just like little things. And even my kids, they love the stickers and I mean, there's just so much to do with it, but it's so beautiful to take that moment even to just read it and just take that in and get connected and have these little things right here as reminders because I put a lot of your stuff right up here for me to see every day. So yeah, I do. I love it, Sabrina. I think it's beautiful what you're working towards, and I'm super excited. So if you're listening, you've got to get on this and check it out. That's super reasonable, especially to get going and check it out and give it a chance. So I mean, support a small business because that's another thing too. I'm all about us supporting one another because we're all in this to not just change the course of our lives for our family, but to really make a difference. And it's so beautiful to earn that way, right? So I'd love to hear a little bit of your backstory. Tell us a little bit of your journey. I love, first of all, I want to say congratulations again on getting
Thank you.
married. That is such a cool story right there of like meeting 20 years later after growing up with
Yes.
someone. Like, tell us a little bit too about your journey as a mom and what that's looked like for you.
Yeah, so I am married and divorced, and my first marriage was rough. And it just, after I had my daughter, there was some components of abuse, mental, physical. And I was like, yeah, I have a daughter, at the end of the day. And she wasn't even two yet. And I was like, this is not the life that I want for her. This is not what I want to show her. And I was young. I was probably 27, 28. But I'm like, I rather do it by myself. And I did. And it was hard. And I had to make sacrifices left and right. In my career, I traveled all the time. I didn't want to, but thank God I had a very supportive family. My mother, my brother, my father. And I just knew that it was a means to an end in my career because I wanted to get to a place where
Yeah,
eventually I knew she was going to college and things were going to get more expensive.
yeah,
But you know what? It was definitely worth it at the end of the day because now it's kind of she's able to go to college and I'm able to do all of these things for her. And it made me a stronger person. It made me a more independent person. And I think also it led to I work in insurance. It is predominantly white male driven. So I kind of look back and say, I kind of paved the way for some of these women. And I've seen a shift
yeah.
probably in the last 5 years
Mhm.
where women are getting recognized more in the industry. There's a lot more support for each other. And it's a beautiful thing because it wasn't like that when I
Oh yeah.
started. And I think that's also another reason why I do the snail mail as well, because it's another way to encourage and empower women and just reach a broader audience. And then as far as my gift basket business, I've always wanted to own my own business. And COVID, it was good for some, bad for others. But that's when I really was like, I have the time to start this and get my LLC. And my dad passed away kind of in the middle and I had to pause and pivot. But right now I'm in such a good place with everything, with life, and things are finally falling into place. So my thing is for women, yes, things are hard. It gets rough, especially if you're a single mom. And can you have everything? maybe later on down the line, it may not come like right away. But I say, just keep pushing. Definitely family and friends. You have to have that core support group. That is so vital. And it's okay to ask for help. That was the hardest thing for me. I do not like
Yeah.
to ask for help.
Uh,
And I learned really quickly, girl, you better raise your hand when you need some help, you know? what I mean?
yes, yes, because I mean, especially if you want this big life, like these dreams
Right.
that you have, like that's part of the process. Like you have to be willing to also face the crap that you've been ignoring for so long, and that's part of the work, but it's life changing when you finally are willing to, like you say, ask for the help, take the action, be messy with it, learn as you go, and stop trying to control it all. But that's where things start slowly but surely falling into place for you. And this is why people talk a lot about when it comes to abundance and wealth and all these things, like how it's so connected to our to us internally. And so many people are focused on like marketing and strategies and sales and things like that. And I'm not saying that that's not part of it, but it's like, who are you when you're showing up for all this? What are you believing when you're showing up for this? And I've had to learn that the hard way because, like I said, I was one of those people who tried to like overly positive think my way through things. And it's like, I even had to take a step back and realize, no, like, Mary, you have to feel the feelings, even the uncomfortable ones. I have to face the truth of like, what is it that I really want? And what am I afraid of? What am I believing about this? And really work on shifting that. So it sounds like you've been on quite the journey of doing that for sure. But I think it's cool what you're doing as far as the gift basking too, because that's so unique in what's available for people. And there's nothing for me as a mom. I tend to buy for my kids more than I do for myself.
Of course.
So that's why I think it's beautiful because having that person to help you create something that's so personalized that when you know you're gifting it to someone else, it's like you go above and beyond of just like looking on Amazon and purchasing something. It's like you put
Correct.
such thought into that and such heart into that. And I think that's you have this beautiful combination of a way for someone to take care of themselves through that snail mail and then also to gift others in a way that's like, wow, like you really went above and beyond of getting me something that's very thoughtful. So I just love your, like I said, again, you are going to be you are super successful and you're doing amazing things and you've come a long way. I would love to hear too, like, how does it feel having a daughter in college? Because I have a son who just turned 18 and he's going to be going off to college. And I just would be, like, I need help with being prepared for that myself.
I was one of those moms where I was okay. I remember going to college and after my parents left, I sat on the bed and cried because I went to school in like Pennsylvania. I cried and I was like, what? I know nothing. And I was more introverted, amazingly enough. So that was tough for me, but I guess being a single mom to a daughter, I had to raise her very independently. I raised her to be independent because she doesn't have any siblings from me. Now, with her father, she has four, but with me, and they're not around here. So she learned to play independently, do things independently. So I wasn't as nervous. And now it's funny because she will do all of the things. Like, if there's a problem, she will figure out, can I do this myself? She will talk to people. She will do all this. And then she'll come to me if she can't figure it out and then tell me all the things that she's done. And I'm like, you can just call and ask. And she's like, for what? I can figure it out. Or so sometimes I miss the mom part, right? And I'm like, did I raise her too independently? Is that such a thing? But honestly, like, I was nervous because not for her. I was nervous for me because she was ready. I was not ready. Our kids are always ready for like that next step, right?
Yeah.
And we're just like, let me be a mom first. Like I'm not ready for this. And she's just doing amazing. And I couldn't
Right.
be more proud. And then, she does like a lot of like video and music shoots and different things in photography shoots. And I'm like, first off, are you getting paid? Because this is what you want to do. So it doesn't matter if it's your friend or whatever. Make sure you're getting paid for this and make sure that you don't undervalue, right? If that's your price, that's your price. And she's like, "Yep, mom, I'm getting paid for this." And then I say, "Okay." And she listened. She networks on her own. She's building her portfolio. And I'm like, wow, you did listen. Like the power of networking, no matter what you do, is
Mhm.
so important. And to have those connections and make those connections, because even now, if I need something in my industry, I know exactly who I can call because I've either worked with them, I've actually trained them. And that's important. And so it's a beautiful thing to see that they do actually listen to us. Some
Yeah.
may listen a little bit later and figure it out,
Yeah.
but
But
they really
I
do
do.
take in what we say,
Yeah,
and
I do.
it makes you feel so good as a parent. And now I will say she's only 2 hours away. Now, if she was about 5, 6, 7,
Oh yeah.
that's a different story. Um,
Yes.
but my one rule is for me, because we're in Connecticut on the East Coast, I said, you have to stay east of the Mississippi because in the world that we live in, I need to be able to get to you if something ever happened in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
I said, now, once you graduate, feel free to go where you want. But while
Yeah.
you're in school, and she's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So
Oh
now if
yeah.
she was across in like California out there, that'd
Ooh.
be a
Yeah.
different thing for me. But yeah, so
I
it's
completely get
good.
that. Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. Because my son actually, where he's going is just an hour away. So
Okay.
that makes me feel a lot better. And like I said, me too. I raised him to be very dependent. Like I'm the kind of parent like since he was like really young, taught him how to like clean his own bathroom, do his own
Yep.
laundry, clean up his room, do dishes, mow the yard, kind of things like that. To where it's like I'm like this is not punishment. This is not just about chores. It's about life skills that you need because you'll have to do this eventually on your own. So,
Absolutely.
but with boys, it's kind of also like, gosh, I remember thinking, I was like, I just hope that he just stays on top of like brushing his teeth and taking a shower. I'm like, I think that's what I'm more concerned about because, boys are just like all about I mean, he's so responsible. I will say I've never had to wake this kid up. Like, he's always been like, he has his alarm, he gets up, he takes care of it, gets himself together. He's good. He's very responsible with that. So when it comes to like work and actually school, I am very confident in that. Like I said, for me, it's like the more of like taking care of yourself, like himself,
Right.
But I'm like,
Right.
hopefully, I was like, eventually he's gonna get. I know that comes with men a little bit later, but other than that, though, he's great. He's really great about staying on top of things and things like that. So thank you for sharing that because that makes me feel a lot better. I mean, and I know I still have the two young ones here at home too, which has been interesting to like have that experience of one about to go off to college and two like getting into elementary school. So
Right.
that's been
Just
interesting.
believe. Like I say that. I was like, just believe in the parent that you are, in the mom that you are. Believe that you taught them all of the things, right? And that
Exactly.
they retained it. And going back to what I said, the one thing as a mom, I think we always need to do is give ourselves grace.
Ah,
We do not do very well at that. It's okay. Like,
yep.
and I had to learn and understand what that meant over time. And I realized, like, we might not get it right all the time.
No. Mm-mm.
We may have that bad parenting moment. This is why my daughter ended up with cat and fish and all types of things because I had that bad parent moment. And now I'm like, well, what do you want? Because I knew, you know what I mean? But it's okay,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Because they're going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
Event they will be okay. And at the end of the day, they're going to come back when they need us. Like if
Yeah.
something happens, they're going to come to us. And we kind of just have to believe in that and just have some grace,
Oh,
give
yeah.
ourselves some grace.
Exactly. That's a huge thing for sure on this journey because I don't care who you are, you're not going to have all the answers. You're definitely we have our good days, our bad days, and that's what I want to normalize. Like we just keep beating ourselves up like we're supposed to be like these perfect parents or have all the answers. Like no, honey. And it's also with their life. Like this is their journey to experience too. We can't project or force anything on them because then we're hindering them from really getting it themselves. So just like we had to through all the hard stuff and all the ups and downs that we've been through, it all molds you. Like even your first marriage that you went through, even though that was hard, it's like we don't realize like even the bad stuff like it prepares us, it teaches us, it strengthens us in ways that we just have yet to see. And I love stories where you find love later in life, because I feel the same way on my journey. It's like, I was a single mom with JJ and went through a horrible experience even before him with, drug addiction, abuse, and all sorts of things. And to have this shift and then, you know, become a mom and go through even further pain and hurt, but still choose to change my life and keep going and keep believing. I've never stopped believing in love. I've always believed in love is out there. And, and now it's like I met my husband later in life. We had two more children and all these things. And it's not that it's like rainbows and butterflies either. Like we still have our things that we're navigating and that we're working through. Because for me, especially, like I have to remind myself, first of all, this is my first marriage and the longest relationship I've ever been in. So, of course, I am not experienced. I don't know what, everything is supposed to look like. I'm just going through figuring out what works for us. What do we want our lives to look like? What do I want? But I feel like through it all, I learn so much every day about who I am, who I want to be, and what I want and don't want. And I'm just working to honor that. I think that's another thing we don't do is we don't honor what feels right for us. We feel like we have to force certain things to make others feel comfortable or
Mhm.
to be like what we think everyone wants us to be. And so I don't know if that's something you've experienced, but I feel like that's something I want to help moms navigate as well, is really learning how to honor yourselves and learn how to trust yourselves and what does feel right and doesn't feel right for you.
Yeah, so that actually really resonates with me because it's my second, his first. And he has kids, but it is hard because I actually was with someone and my late fiance passed away within we were together for 8 years. We thought we had all this time. He was divorced. Our kids were interacting and it was great because they kind of grew up together because they were little. My daughter was 3, his kids were 5 and 7. And we are like, oh, we have all this time and it was great. And we didn't want to rush. Like neither one of us wanted to rush into a marriage. And we got engaged and I was like so excited. Like, okay, it was 8 years later. And then he passed away unexpectedly 4 months after we got engaged. And I was devastated. And at that point, because I'm a hopeless romantic, I'm like, that is it. I'm going to date, I'm going to have fun and take care of me and my daughter. And that was it. I was not looking to get married again, to be in a relationship. So now that I'm here, very unexpectedly, and it's true what they say, when you're not looking, it
Good.
finds you somehow. And it's different. It is so different because, and you're right, like sometimes I'm like, I don't say anything or I don't speak up because I'm like, but it's also that learning process, right?
Mhm.
Because we're still trying to figure out us. I mean, we've only all
Yes.
up have been together for 4 years and we haven't even been married for a year. And there is a lot of compromise and I'm a very independent person. So it's like
Yes.
my way, and it's like sometimes I have to take a breath and be like, girl,
Mhm.
settle down. You have to, this is a compromise, this is a
Mhm.
partnership
Yeah.
and things like that. But yeah, it is challenging. And I don't care what type of marriage you are,
Yeah.
it is not always rainbows and butterflies. And you have to have communication.
Oh,
That is so key to
yes.
communicate
Yeah.
and be in an environment where, like, for us, we have weekly meetings.
Yeah.
So he has like his thing for his business and he works full time. And then we have our house meeting every week. It's in the evening and we sit down and you would think it was a formal business meeting, but we recap what we talked about last week. We go through this so that we're always on the same page. And if there's any issues, we discuss them, but we did it in that way so it's not an argument, it's not like,
A
it's
build up.
just right.
Yeah.
And so we have that weekly, and then on the weekends we kind of talk about what's going on with our own individual businesses and things like that. So, and that works for us and it really does keep us on the same page, probably limit some of the arguments or whatever, or the disagreements and things like that. So that is something that we instituted and that works for us. So,
Oh, that's actually a fantastic idea. Like that's one of the things too is like me and my husband we go through coaching as well because I do feel like because even as a coach myself, like we all need coaching in one form fashion or another. Like some of the most successful people in this world, they have their own coaches because we're human and we are blinded a lot of times to our own crap. It doesn't matter how much we think we're on point or how much we do the mindset work or things
mhm,
like that work. It's always important to have someone to help check in with you, keep
yeah,
you accountable, call you out on your stuff. Just kind of help you, stay on track, check in. That's super crucial. So that for us is something that I found has been very healthy because it's been helping us to communicate in a way that we can share like how we're feeling. Like we're really working a lot right now on communicating our feelings rather than defining what that looks like, why we might be feeling the way we are, but just strictly like just talking about our feelings. And so I think it's been a huge stretch for him because men already struggle with this, like even trying to process their emotions. But
right.
we women too, we have our own ways of trying to of realizing, I think more and more that it's not just men who were shunned with emotions. It was us too. We were taught that we had to be the good girl, that we had to smile and behave and get over things or not be dramatic. So it's like we also had our own teachings that taught us that our feelings were inconvenient for other people and for other things, so we weren't allowed to process it. And I think that's the work, the greatest work I feel like that any of us can do is learning how to sit with our feelings and process them in a healthier way so that we move through it, move past it in a good way rather than continue to shove it, ignore it, close the door on it, and let it build and build till we explode and we wonder why we snap over something simple.
Mm.
You
And
know?
I think, and I love that because I think from a minority perspective, we see like certain type of help, aka a therapist, as a negative thing, right? I feel like if you're a female, no matter what, you should have some sort of therapist. And I'm not saying that because there's an issue, a problem,
Mhm.
but it's more because you need someone that is going to be there unbiased for you. That's not your friend, that's not a family member.
Yeah.
And it's a good person to talk to in confidence to help you navigate some of those things, or you know what, get those emotions out. I know people who are in therapy and they sometimes just sit there and cry all the session because they need to get that out, and they're
Yeah.
not being judged, right? Because I think a lot of times women, we are judged. We judge ourselves, we judge each other, the world judges us. And it's like kind of like that safe space for you. I'm not saying go every day, but if you go once a month or just talk to someone outside of that circle, and that really, really is a different type of support. It's a mental health support. And sometimes we just need something a little bit different. And I was one of those people that was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, but I found someone. And the key is don't just settle for a therapist, right? If that is
Yeah.
something that you're looking for, you have to make sure that they are aligned with what you are looking for. You may need a therapist that's going to be warm and fuzzy. That's okay. You may also need a therapist at some point, and it's okay to change when you
Mhm.
need someone that's going to tell you the truth, tell you not necessarily what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, right? So
Yes.
there's all different things, and it's hard to find a therapist that you connect with, but there's out there. So I would strongly encourage, like, explore it, think about it, because like you said, or even couples therapy, right? It doesn't have to be a negative thing. It is to
Yeah.
help you navigate all those things that come with being with another person, especially if you went from single to married.
Oh
That
yeah.
that's a challenge.
Yeah, it
So,
sure is. When you've been taught, like
yes.
my whole life, I grew up with a single mom. So I was literally
Yeah.
taught to be independent, to never rely on someone
Mhm.
else. And it's like having to shift from that to like a partnership when I never even got to see an example of what a healthy partnership looks
Right.
like. See, he did. He grew up with parents who were married for, they're still married. And so it's like he had this different upbringing than I did. So it's like even that can sometimes be a clash, but it's
Yes.
also, I feel like what also strengthens us at the same time because we do have these different perspectives that we can help each other understand each other better
Mhm.
and work together in a way that we can feel good about how we're parenting, how we're showing up for each other and things like that, and then navigating the things that are upsetting. Because I think currently I would say the hardest part is I think for him is kind of getting in the groove of like our lives are different than when we were in the beginning. And it's like, that's
Right.
okay. Because I was like, if anything, I want to encourage him, be excited for what we're about to become, like who we could be now. Instead of trying so hard to keep reaching for that, those, young party animal kind of people that we were, it's like, it's okay to be like, we're about to be in our 40s. He's actually turning 40 in a week or so from now. So it's like, he's about to be 40. I'm about to be 39. Like, we have two young kids, one about to go to college. It's okay that we're not like bachelors, these young parents or young people anymore. I think it's actually exciting to think of like as entrepreneurs, as we're getting older, like let's explore what this new versions of ourselves could look like instead of trying so hard to keep that same old, same old, same old because it makes you feel safe. That's his struggle. He doesn't feel safe within it. It's not that comfort, so it's scary, and therefore, it makes him it affects his behavior in certain aspects. And I get that. So it's like just kind of like you say, there's nothing more powerful than having an outsider professional support of someone who can really, like you say, it's family. They know the old versions of you, friends even, right? They know certain parts about you that it's like it's harder for them to see the bigger picture or see you
Mhm.
outside of what they know about you, or even like, especially when you're trying to build a new identity, a new version of yourself. A lot of them cannot see it because they always see you as the old version. And that sometimes that's like another thing to navigate is like, who can you now have in your circle? Because as much as you may love somebody, if there's someone who's not willing or able to grow with you or evolve with you or allow you to evolve and see you for who you're trying to be, that can be unhealthy too, or hinder you in some ways. And that's an icky thing to also go through, but that's part of evolving and growing
Right.
into who we're meant to be. And I think that's something I love helping moms with, especially is because change is scary, but it's necessary and it's always coming whether we like it or not, right? So why not come together and let's help each other through those uncomfortable stages and help cheer each other on and encourage each other to keep going, even though we may not see how this is going to work out yet, right? Oh, that's exactly what this is all about for me. Because I'm like, I'm in it. I'm in that messy middle, and I get it so much how like chaotic it can feel, how heavy it can feel. But I also have this sense of excitement too, because I know where I'm going. And I may not see how it's going to unfold yet, but I can feel it and I vision it every day and I trust in it and I believe in it that it is already done and I'm just showing up for it now. And so, yes, if I have to get through this season and it's a little hard, all right, let's go. But I'm not going to sit here and try to do it by myself because my God, will I talk myself out of it and try to go back to the old version of me.
Yes. And it's funny because I'm 46 and my 40s as a woman have been the best out of any looking back.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens when you turn 40. I feel like you get this sense of self and empowerment, and you really don't care to an extent, like what people are saying or what they're doing. And my 40s have been amazing for me. So you have amazing things coming. And, my husband is I would not be doing half of the things I do with my small business because it's a scary place to be because it's your own and you don't want people judging it or saying negative things. There's so much, but my husband is my biggest cheerleader, okay?
Love that.
He is like, nope, you're going to do it. Nope, this is what we're going to, nope. And I try to back out of things and he's no. And right now, for the first time, my products are in a market, an indoor market, the Bristol Bazaar, located in Bristol, Connecticut. And I was terrified. Like I wanted to back out. And he's like, no. He's like, these things are amazing. Your pens are amazing. And they just started like just selling. And I was like, oh my God, I never did a vendor event. I was too afraid to do them. And I did one with him. And he's like, and it was a charity event for the Lewin Foundation down in New Jersey. And this is for women cancer research. Dr. Lewin is an amazing female doctor. And it was we raised money because we wanted to do gift bags for various cancer patients that were on their journey. And there was a fundraiser walk, and it was the first event, but it was amazing. I did it in honor of many of my family members that had passed away from cancer, including my father. And it gave me a whole new sense of my business, myself, watching all of these women who had either who are in remission, going through it, or their families were there that who, had passed away, but they had family representation. And this year we're going back. They invited us back. So we will be starting our fundraiser and donations because those women love those gift baskets. It was something for them. And we had blankets and some, or like coloring things, or just things like to make a woman feel pretty, right? And I was so I left there and was so full and so amazed, and am so excited we were gonna be going back this year. So
Oh, yeah.
that just empowered me in a different way to be thankful for the things that I have, the struggles that I've been through, and the mere fact that I'm still standing today. And my struggles, they were mine, but theirs are a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
And to just see that and hear their stories was so empowering for me. And I after that, I'm like, yeah, my business, that's what I love to do, and this is what we're going to keep doing. That's what I'm going to keep doing. So
Oh, it's incredible. And you look at how things are so unfolding for you already with that. I mean, that is amazing. And that's one of the things I'm so passionate about as I grow my business too, is like being able to give back. Like that's something I always envision is like, how can I help others? How can I give back? How can I support other small businesses? Because truly that's what my ultimate goal is with everything is like being able to give back. I mean, not just with what I do to help others, but like how I can financially support and show up and be there. And that is something I think is a beautiful thing for you to do and a great way to meet people. Like you say, when you hear these stories, like they really do help you to like appreciate how far you've come and even just like some of the struggles that other people have that you don't it makes you like really reflect and be grateful like you know what I'm grateful that I have my life because this is another reason why I'm so passionate about encouraging moms to start now at chasing their dreams because I don't care how chaotic your life may look, how busy you may think you are. First of all, there's always ways to reclaim your time and your energy through it. But if you don't get started now, you're going to look back and think about all this time that you could have been learning new skills, researching, starting to get out there, building that because it takes time
yes.
to build confidence. Confidence isn't just something you're born with or you just get overnight. I don't care who you are. Even some of the most famous people still get nervous before going on a stage. It's the courage that builds the confidence. The more you put yourself out there, the more you practice what you're going to say, the more you define your messaging or define your brand or who you are and what you're about and allow yourselves to like tweak it as you go and figure it out as you go, the sooner when you arrive, you're going to be so prepared for it. And so, yeah, I just love that you're doing it. You're in that season of like, this is my dream. And you know what? It's okay that we're working jobs because, we have to also support our family in the way that we have to, but we're working on such a bigger vision. And this is the work. This is it. It's showing up, doing these things, connecting, networking, trying different things, getting out of our comfort zone and getting into like, I love that you're in that and that you're seeing the reward from it because you deserve it. What you're building is beautiful. And, it's like, I'm so proud that you had a husband. I'm so glad that your husband encouraged you and pushed you to like,
That's
to do it because sometimes that's what we need. We need
right.
that push because Lord knows our subconscious mind thinks it's protecting us by telling us, like, no, you're going to get rejected. No one's going to care. You're going to feel like crap. You're making a mistake. Don't do it. It's like, that's what we are struggling with. If you try to go through that alone, that voice is going to get louder and louder and a lot of times you're going to talk yourself out. I cannot tell you the times when I remember my first year in business. I was always encouraged to do lives and I don't know what it was about lives. It was my biggest struggle, like coming out and doing a live and just being like, real, I guess, and just not exactly knowing how I'm going to do it, whatever. And I can't tell you the times that I literally talked myself out of hitting that button to go live.
Yeah.
I did it so many times and I missed so many opportunities probably from that, but it's okay. Again, having the grace. I wasn't ready, and that's okay too. The more I've done this podcast, the more I've done the things that I've done, I've built a sense of confidence and talking and being, and it's great because I wouldn't be here if I never got started and allowed
No, that
myself.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I am. So I do like TikTok, whatever. I never in the beginning would show my face. I was terrified. Now, I'm a person that I can stand up, public speak all day long, but
Yeah.
getting on TikTok and I'm like, so I have a content creator now. And she's like, girl, you need to be on camera. Like, you need to show your face. Like, you need to do all this. And I was terrified, just like you were for a live. And she's like, don't worry, this is what I'm here for. I'm gonna edit. And she will tell me, she's like, okay, like, let's do this next time or let's do that. And she is so, so supportive. And my husband, of course, he's always like liking my videos and he's giving me feedback. And I'm like, are you just saying that because you're my husband? He's like, no. He's like, I would tell you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's like taking that step sometimes, and then it's
Mhm.
like you get to be like more comfortable with it and you get to
Mhm.
be okay, and then your natural self eventually like starts to come out and people really
Yeah.
do, get to see the real you. And I look at my daughter, she is always promoting constantly. Her thing is Instagram, and I'm like, she gives me encourage in a different way. I'm like, okay, if
Yes.
she can do
Do
this,
it.
like, all right. And then, she's in like film and production and photography. And
Oh,
I love it because she'll always send me a little note or she'll comment. She's like, great job. Or it's like the little fire emoji. And for me, she's the professional at this. This is what she does. This is going to be her career. So to get that kind of encouragement from my 19-year-old daughter, I'm like, nailed it. Like, I'm excited, So, and that's the thing, celebrate the little wins, okay? We want all these big things, right? And I was like, we need to normalize, celebrate the small wins that you have, because they will build and correct, and then you'll turn around and you'll be like, wow, like, look at where I've come from to where I am now. But we have to enjoy those little things, because those are the things that matter at the end of the day. And I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine. I was like, as women, we really need to normalize the word no. It's okay to say
oh,
no.
yes.
I don't know why, but I don't know. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
something in us as women. I'm not really sure if it's a societal thing, but we have a hard time just being like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, no,
Okay.
no. We keep pushing and pushing, even though it might not be what we want. It's
Mhm.
not how we want things to go. And I think we sometimes need to take a step back and go, well, is this right for me? How is this going to affect me? How is this going to help me grow? Like, if it doesn't do anything to fill me, I'm starting to get more comfortable with no.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to do.
Oh, I know. For me, it was a people pleasing side of me. Like
Yes.
I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want anyone to be mad at me, or whatever if I said no to something. But yeah, that's something I worked on tremendously. And this is where healthy boundaries are huge. And that's work in itself too, right there. I've had to learn in many areas of my life, even with my kids, to set healthy boundaries. Because even I struggled, excuse me, with my kids, saying no to them when they were like, "Mommy, come do this," or "Mama, blah, blah," blah," and me being drained and not being ready to just actually honor that and be okay to be like, "Look, Mommy needs some downtime right now. We can do it a little later." And
Right.
that's okay. Like teaching them to patience and that they don't always get everything they want. And that's okay. Because Lord knows if they go into life thinking that everything's just going to be handed to them, they're going to be sorely disappointed when the real life hits them. So I want them to understand, like, no, that's not how this works. Things happen when they happen, and that is okay. And sometimes you're just not going to get what you want. And that's
Right.
okay too, because that means something else is available for you, or something else can happen, or maybe it just comes down later down the road. And I'm working to help teach my kids that because I don't want them to have these unrealistic And I shouldn't say that because I do believe in possibilities. I get that, but I don't want them, I guess, being entitled of thinking that everything should just be handed to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that is, I think a lot of single moms and just moms in general
Yeah.
struggle with healthy boundaries for our kids. We really, really do. And I think some of it, I think is because we try to give them all the things like they say that we
We
didn't
didn't have.
have. But then I look and I'm like, huh, my kid's a little spoiled. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like you take a step back as they get older.
Yeah.
And I just had a situation, this past summer with my daughter. When she's in school, she kind of does her own thing, right? But when you come home, you have to follow the rules. Like you can't be out until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, when you're at school,
Yeah.
whatever, but like there's still rules and we had to work through those and I had to set boundaries for that. And then
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, I have this shoot." Now, most of the time I don't necessarily know where all of her video shoots are, where she's going and all of that. And then I was like, "Oh, where are you going?" She's like, "New Jersey." And I go, "What part?" She goes, "Trenton." And I go, "Absolutely not." And I know at certain parts, like, and I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, that's not the best part of New Jersey. Like, there's things. And she was so angry at me. And I'm like, no, my job is still to keep you safe. You can't just go running
Yeah.
all over the place. Like,
I get it.
so yeah, and it was hard for me to tell her no. It hurt me. She was upset. She's emotional. And I'm like,
Oh my
but I knew that this was the right thing because if I let her go and something happened, not to mention, you weren't planning on staying at a hotel. So you're going to be coming home at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on the Jersey Turnpike. Like, I was like, absolutely not. Like, we're not doing this.
God.
And it hurt me. It hurt me deep, but
Yeah.
there are those boundaries we have
Yep.
to set. And you're right. Sometimes we have to say no, or
Mhm.
not right now, or maybe a little bit later, as a parent. And it's tough. It
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
really is, because that mom guilt kicks in
Oh
like
yeah.
no other.
Oh, it does. It does. And like I've even heard that saying, it's like you may hate me now, but you'll thank me later.
Absolutely.
And I get it
Absolutely.
so much now as a parent. Like, okay, yeah, I get that. Because it's like you're right. I mean, it's like I know we can't control everything and protect them from everything, but when we can, we're going to. Because that's our child. Like I completely understand that. And it's like you're right, having to navigate that. I mean, even with my daughter, like it's so funny because I have my daughter, I can see she's very highly sensitive. So for me, that's something new of navigating a child who's like really
Yeah.
highly sensitive and just trying to get her to understand like it's okay, but at the same time allowing her to process those feelings too, because I don't want to deny her of that either. So I'm even working to navigate that because she is very sensitive to any little thing, but also I'm already seeing attitude that I'm like, no, that's not okay. That is one of the things that I draw the line. Like you will not talk to me a certain way. And I've even told her, I said, you really need to think about the way you respond because if you keep responding in a negative way or throwing a fit because we say no or not right now, I say it's not going to make us want to do exactly what you want. It's not going to give you what you want. That's not the way to get it. And, just really think about that because you're only hurting yourself more by reacting that way than you are just being like, okay, and just being patient, just waiting a minute. Kids are so, I thought I was impatient. Then you have kids and you're like, woo, they try your patience. I'll tell you that.
I think I think it's literally the world that they grow up in. It is very different
I know.
from us who grew up in like the 80s, the 90s, like
Oh yeah.
very, very different. Like
Yeah.
everything is right now, right?
Yep.
Like,
Instant.
and I see that in my regular job. It's like with technology, it's like they want a response right now. Like things are right there. Like they don't have to go to the library and do a research, like pull a book
Yes.
and do
Yeah.
all, it is right there for them. And sometimes we have to be like, okay, hold on, time out. I'm not going to respond to you right now. Take a minute, take a second. Like, I will get to that. But yeah, I think it's just the world that we live in with technology. It is right there. And there's no patience, like you said. everybody wants a response right now. And we can't be all things to everyone at the same time. Like there has to be boundaries and things like that, because if not, you will be, us women, we will get overwhelmed and we will drain ourselves.
Yep.
We
That's
will absolutely be running on empty all day, every day.
Yep. And just, I mean, like I say, anyone listening, like scarcity and burnout are one and the same. So when you see yourself in burnout, that means you're living in scarcity. And a lot of times, you're out, you're trying to force things too much. And trust me, I get it. I've been there myself. I mean, there's so much things like when you were talking earlier about the internet and how hard that was to show up. I was listening to a podcast the other day with Kate Northrup, who was talking about how, like, she was like, I could do an in person thing, no problem. But for some reason, going online was completely scary for her. And she actually had to do some work to realize that she had some childhood trauma around certain things that led to her having that fear. And so it's like, it's interesting to see how, like, something could be easier in one sense, like an in person
Yeah.
thing, but online is a scary place for a lot of us because there's so much bullying, there's so much negativity out there. And so there's such a sense of fear around that rejection or just somebody criticizing you, whatever it is, and which makes it harder, I think, for us too. And it's very saturated is a word I keep hearing, even though I'm like, nope, that's why I want to stick with the abundance mindset that there's plenty and enough for all of us. So I think that's a word that it's like we need to like stray a little bit away from because no, it's never too much. There's always enough for us all, which is why I'm all about having people on and supporting you guys and believing in you and doing all that I can to give this people the space to like share their truth and to just like help each other out.
Right.
We're all working to help and to grow and to change our lives. So I just want to be all about that. So I wanted to say if anyone is listening and they would like to learn more about your gift baskets or the snail mail, where would be the best place for them to come find you?
So it's pretty easy. My website is sassy and inspirational, all spelled out.com. My email is pretty easy too. It's Sabrina at sassyandinspirational.com. On the website, you will find everything, the gift baskets that I have, and then the snail mail, you can purchase it there. However, I love a good custom basket. If you have one of those individuals that are hard to buy for, they have everything. I have lots of skill in kind of coming up with that perfect gift basket for them. I love to spend time just talking to the person like, hey, okay, what do they like? What don't they like? What are they into? My mother is a very, very hard person to buy for because she's that person. If she wants it, she's just going to get it. But I successfully, every Christmas, birthday, Mother's Day, I come up with something for her that she's always like, wow, so I love a good challenge. So if you have any, person like that, feel free to reach out, and we can get something done. So
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. I love what you do so much, Sabrina. And I just love you. You're so amazing. And I'm so glad that our paths cross. This is another reason, you guys, I'm always about like, let's put ourselves out there because you just never know who you can meet and the relationships you can build from it. It's amazing. So, also, I always love to open the floor. Is there any final piece of advice that you like to leave with listeners today?
first off, I just want to say thank you to you because I'm not even sure how we connected thinking back. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it happened, but I will say thank you for your emails. Your emails, women, ladies, moms, pay attention to her emails, okay? Because they are so inspirational and they hit every day. Every day it is something where I find myself printing it out, okay? I have a binder with all of your emails, which I will tell you, you are very special because I do that for no one.
Gosh, I love it.
But
Thank
they
you.
are so empowering, encouraging. They hit every time. So I'm always excited to get one of your emails because they encourage me in a way that I can't even explain. So my parting words are thank you, thank you, thank you. And please keep doing that because it is so inspiring and so empowering. And it literally just hits home for me and really makes me stop and think sometimes. And I'll go, well, let me think about that.
Thank
Please
you.
keep those emails coming. They are absolutely amazing, beautifully done. So thank you.
Oh, Sabrina, that means the world to me. Like, there's a time even I remember, and this is another thing too. Sometimes you don't realize that the impact you are making behind the scenes, because there's even moments where I'm like, is anyone really feeling my emails? Like I even had those thoughts. Like if there's anything coming from this, blah, blah, blah. So to get that feedback means the world because that helps. It's like that confirmation that, okay, keep going. You got this. And so I want to thank you too for all that you do. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited to watch you grow and to see how you evolve to make this a full-time thing for yourself because it's happening, girl.
Yes.
So, yes,
Yes.
yes. So thank you so much again for being part of this show. I really appreciate you being
Thank
here.
you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe below, follow along, and always leave a comment. Tell me what was your favorite takeaway. What are some things that are coming up for you through these conversations? I really love to hear from my listeners and know that I'm always here for you. If anyone listening is ready to take action and really follow through and implement the goals that you set out for, as well as work on that mindset and really step into your full potential and the CEO of your life, then I invite you, schedule your free 1 hour limitless mom strategy call with me while they're available. And let's explore where you are, where you want to be, and how we can bridge that gap together. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in each week. Always remember, until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep believing in everything that is available for you, mama. You are worthy, you deserve it, and I'm so grateful to be walking this journey alongside you. Much love.